He's not just a comedian, but also a TV and silver screen star. Notorious for using Middle Eastern stereotypes, he has been touring all over the world and making audiences laugh and love him dearly. Here's a resume of his career. Founding member of the Axis of Evil comedy tour, which aired on Comedy Central in 2007. Starring in movies such as Friday After Next, 13 Going on 30, and The Interpreter, co-starring Sean Penn. Regular TV roles on ABC's Nights of Prosperity and Fox's Life on a Stick. Guest starring on Curb Your Enthusiasm, 24, ER, NYPD Blue, Traffic Light, Man Up, Men at Work, and most recently, Whitney. Stand-up performances on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson and Lopez Tonight. Featured on NPR, CNN, the BBC, and in print in the New York Times, Time Magazine, and Newsweek. And finally, portraying Jimmy VESTVOOD, the American Hero, a feature which he co-wrote and is starring in. He is none other than Iranian-born American Maz Jobrani, with whom I had the privilege to chat on Skype while he was in New York City for a tour of his latest show called I Come in Peace. Maz, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and for being part of the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ajil. It's fantastic. I love Ajil ever since I was a kid, so this is good.
Maz, you're in New York City, as we understand, for your latest gig, which is called I Come in Peace. And I had a chance to listen to some snippets of I Come in Peace. It's hilarious. You know, you talk about Iranians loving to dance and clap, and you talk about the Academy Awards going to Iran to Asghar Farhadi. You talk about your aunt visiting New York and going shopping with her. You talk about learning Spanish with your Hispanic nanny. I don't want to give it away, of course, but tell us a little bit more about your latest gig and what made you decide to pick that theme.
The latest special, I Come in Peace, it actually was filmed in Sweden, in Stockholm, just over about a year and a half ago, and then it came out earlier this year on Showtime, and now it's available on Amazon and on iTunes. There's not a lot of clips online, so people can go to Amazon or iTunes, put in I Come in Peace and get it. And they'll see you know, covers a lot of stuff, from social to political stuff to Persian stuff to Russian stuff. It covers a lot of different countries, covers kid material, and it's just where I am in my life. That's what I'm talking about. You know, unfortunately, sometimes Iranians will come to a show and they say, you need more material about Iran. And I go, well, you know, the audience is mixed, so you'll see a mixed special, and I think people will enjoy it.
And you even interact with some people. I think you interacted with an Algerian woman. You spoke some French there, so that gets the crowd going, and it's hilarious.
But the Navy SEALs ruined it for every guy in here. Those guys set the standard so high, we'll never live up to it. My own wife was like, why can't you be more like a Navy SEAL? I was like, what do you mean? You want me to go around killing enemies of the state? It's like, no, I want you to show up in the middle of the night, take 40 minutes, get the job done, get the hell out. Damn! I told her I could show up, take 2 minutes, get the job done, get the hell out. I'll be an elite force. I like that joke because the first part, women are always like, that's right, 40 minutes, ha ha ha. Second part, guys are like, that's better, Maz, 2 minutes, you just fix that shit. Just fix the expectations for it.
So let's continue here. We got a question from a good friend of mine, from Ali, and he wants to know what kind of a support group did you have early on in your career, and how did your family feel about your career choice?
Well, you know, coming from Iranian family, they were not into it. You know, my mom and dad wanted me to be a lawyer or a doctor or something. So I actually studied poli-sci as an undergrad. And then I went to graduate school to get my PhD in political science because I was going to be a professor. But a lot of that was probably inspired by my parents, what they wanted me to do. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s when I finally had a light bulb moment. I've been wanting to get back into it. There was an older gentleman, his name was Joe Ryan, and he worked at I dropped out of grad school and I was working at an advertising agency, and I was making a copy of a play I was doing, and Joe was in the copy room, in the dub room, and he saw the play, and he goes, "Hey, you've got good comedic timing. Have you thought about doing this?" And I told him, I said, I'm going to wait till I'm 30 and then save up some money and try it. And at that point, I was in my mid-20s. And he said, listen, he goes, I'm in my 60s. And he goes, there's some things I wanted to do when I was in my 20s, and I never got around to it. So don't delay it anymore. If you really want to go for it, then go for it. Nice. It was a light bulb moment, and I went for it. And from there on, it was just hustling,
And then you got the support behind you, and I don't think they regret
the support. Yeah, the support is basically, the biggest support is you mentally knowing that you want to do this.
You're passionate about it, and this is what you want to do.
Yeah, it's just people falling in line after that, So that's kind of like, I didn't have anybody that it wasn't like there was a big support group that we would get together or anything. It was just me doing it and then people coming on board eventually, the family, my mother, everybody,
Mm-hmm. I got a question about your daily agenda. Walk us through a typical work day of yours from the time you wake up until you go to bed, whether you're on tour or whether you're just prepared.
It's never typical. If I'm on tour, if I'm on the road, a lot of times as comedians, you wake up really early, like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, to go do morning radio in the town you're in. Mm-hmm. Then you go from, let's say, 6 in the morning to like 9 or 10, you're doing radio. Then you come home, then you nap till like 2 or 3.
That's really important.
Then you get up and then you exercise or do whatever you got to do. Then it depends if you're working on a movie that you're writing or if you're writing a book or you've always got some project going. So then you put in a few hours in that. Maybe you've got an audition you got to prepare for. Mm-hmm. Then you go out, you do maybe 2 shows in the night, 2 one-hour shows, and then you're done and you usually end up going out. And then the next day, you end up trying to catch up on your sleep. So you're constantly, there's always things to do, and mm-hmm. part of it as being a comedian is you got to be entrepreneurial and create stuff. So, you could be as busy as you want yourself to be.
Nice. Question of a friend, Mariam, who lives in Kuwait, and she wants to know, what is your biggest challenge meshing the two cultures or internal controversy between the two cultures?
The cultures, I think the bigger challenge is just, when as a comedian, you talk about what's on your mind. Mm-hmm. So people sometimes an audience expects you to do more material about them, but sometimes you're not in the mood to do that. Maybe you're in a place in your life where you want to talk about other stuff. So the biggest challenge is telling stories about yourself and making sure that you don't make it so esoteric, or I should say you don't make it so limited so that only one group of people will get it. You got to tell your story and tell it in a way so that it's universal, and you realize that people are on board once you tell your story.
What do you miss most about Iran? And you were talking about your kids and willing to take them back, hopefully your 2-year-old, your 5-year-old in the future. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I left when I was 6 years old, and I only saw it for 2 weeks when I was in my 20s. So I'd really love a chance to be able to go spend some time in Iran and see more of Iran. I know it's a beautiful country, so I would really love to go get a chance to see Esfahan and Shiraz and out the Alborz Mountains and
have some good food, some good cholo kebab.
Great, the food would be great, but in all honesty, I live in LA. So
but you have that in LA, exactly. Yeah, you go to we go to Westwood and Glendale, and you got that already. So you don't need that. Maz, what was the tipping point that made you a global star? I'm sure for every comedian, for every star, there's a tipping point. Probably an encounter. Don't say that.
No, you know what? It's I won't say there's a tipping point like that. I would say that. When I did the Axis of Evil comedy tour, when that special came out on Comedy Central and it started going out, people started sending the clips on YouTube. I think that made it so that people started recognizing me as Maz Jobrani, whereas before, people maybe had seen me in like the movie Friday After Next and they recognized me as Molly from Friday After Next. So the Axis of Evil comedy tour really helped put me and the other comedians on the map, and I think that was a big moment for our careers.
Come on.
Okay, as you know, this over here is my place. This is a Holy Moly Donut Shop, huh? Say it with me, guys. Holy Moly Donut Shop.
Holy moly donut shop.
Very good. You get one free Berkla every lunch break, huh? Come on, guys.
Come on.
Okay. Over here, this is a Chrome Dome. You got cars, they got rims. And this one, of course, is your family business, Bros Barbecue. That's a check cashing, no ID required. And this one here is a brand new store. It's a pimps and a horse. Some kind of a flashy clothing or something, I don't know.
Damn!
I'm going to ask you 10 questions. I'd like you to give me one-word answers, very short answers. So if you had to choose between a fine-cut ribeye or a sultani, what would it be?
Let's go Sultani.
All right. Poolside in Vegas or home sleeping?
Home sleeping.
Your favorite NFL team?
You know, Cowboys, but I don't really watch it anymore.
Merci! Thank you, Maz. Merci.
Let me say, for that one, again, home sleeping.
Let's see. Who's your childhood hero?
Muhammad Ali.
Nice. Is it Starbucks or a Starbucks?
It's the books.
Your favorite movie of all time?
Godfather.
Which one? 1, 2, or 3?
1 and 2 probably.
Okay. And your favorite Persian singer?
I'm a big fan of Kiosk, and I like Abji's, Maz Aslani.
Nice.
Some Haide songs if you want to get depressed. A little bit of Gugoosh. You know, I mix it up a little bit.
Nice. I see that you know a lot of them. A friend of
I
mine.
don't listen that much, but I know I like those songs.
A friend of mine, Nima, wanted to know if you could pick the most special moment in your comedy career. What would it be? The most special.
Boy, I'm lucky. I've had a lot of special moments. I mean, I remember early on in my career, the moment I became a regular at the Comedy Store, when Mitzi Shore, the owner of the club, made me a regular. That was a real special moment because it really was the beginning of me really growing as a comedian. It was about a year or two in, and I became a regular, and it's an amazing club, the Comedy Store of Los Angeles.
Do we need one more or many more reality shows about Persians? I'm not going to name any names, but do we need more reality shows?
Well, you know, I actually, personally, my take on Shahs of Sunset is, I actually think it's fine. Like, I think that, like, we used to be known as terrorists.
Yep.
Now we're known as drunks. So it's like, that's a step in the right direction. But in reality, I'm not a fan of reality shows in general. So I don't think we need any more reality shows at all.
But now that you started the topic with Shahs of Sunset, when you hear some negative comments about, yeah, this is not really how Iranians live and are, and, you know, it's not just about drinking and partying and all that. What do you say to that?
You know, it's a reality show, so
Yep.
and it's on, what is it, Bravo or E?
It's
or
on
something.
Bravo, yeah.
Yeah, so the audience that's going to watch it is an audience that's going to want that kind of stuff. And people on Bravo aren't going to want to watch a show about an Iranian lawyer, you know, who goes to work and comes home at night. I mean, that's not that interesting. So it's a TV show. I just wouldn't take it that personally. I would say if you enjoy it, enjoy it. If not, then whatever. You don't have to watch it.
We got a question from a friend, Jody, and she says, I'm a working mom of 2 children, and I know how very busy they are. How do you balance family life while traveling on tour?
I try to schedule. I can schedule my own. I make my own schedule. So I try to schedule it so that I'm around a lot when the kids are on summer break and on winter break, and then I work a lot during the spring and the fall. But even when I work, I try to, you know, leave town on a Thursday, come back on a Monday, always on the phone, saying, you know, in touch with them. I'm trying as much as I can to experience my kids' youth. So that's very important to me.
This question is very interesting because you had it in your bio about the Middle East. You have performed in front of His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan live on a show. So my first question is, was Queen Rania there?
Yeah, the Queen was there. He was there. His brother was there. It was
How did it feel? How was it? Were you nervous, or you know?
Nervous at first because you think, oh my God, it's the king. But then when you start performing, you realize He was super cool, very supportive.
He's young too. Yeah.
He's young. He's very westernized. He was laughing. The whole family was laughing. We got invited to the palace afterwards. It was pretty surreal. It was a cool experience.
Nice. Next question is from a very good friend of mine and huge fan of yours, from Anahita, and she's a PR major here at the University of Minnesota, and she wants to know, on a publicity standpoint, what are your measures that you take, and how did you gain exposure to your work?
You know, nowadays there's a lot online. So whether it's through Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, you know, those are the major ones. Instagram now. It's just getting the word out. I think it's getting the word out. I think it's finding the people in each community that can help get the word out. You know, it's like having foot soldiers almost. So, you know, you could have the best product in the world. If you don't have people talking about it, then, you know, then good for you. You could be, you'll be the only one using it. So it's an ongoing struggle, and it's because it's always changing. But you try to be there. I try to post stuff online as much as I can, and just stay in touch with the community.
Nice. Some famous comedians have used or use normally R-rated material, really R-rated material that you cannot have your children listen to. I want to know if you have done that on Comedy Central. Is it a must, or what's your take on that?
You know, I think to each his own in terms of how dirty you want to get with the material. I personally don't cuss a lot. I don't cuss that much in my regular life, and I don't cuss that much on stage. Once in a while, I will cuss on stage. I try to tell people that my show is going to be PG-13.
Right.
Because people that come will hear things. Because, you know, you watch a PG-13 movie, you might hear a few cuss words here and there.
Yep.
I don't really get into, like, sexual jokes that much. But, you know, for the most part, I try to do it. And it's not a conscious thing. It's just, that's who I am. That's how I talk, you know.
Question about your kids. Are you teaching your kids Persian, or living in LA, do you even need to do that?
I try to teach them Farsi as much as I can, or Persian. You know, my wife is Indian. The kids speak a lot of English, but I try as much as I can. I like teach them the colors, the numbers, you know, any songs I can teach them, just because I'm trying to lay a foundation so that hopefully down the line I could enroll them in some sort of like Farsi class or something and have them learn.
What would you like Iranians in America to be known for 10, 20, or even 50 years from now?
Their good-smelling cologne. Well, I think that we're doing a good job in general. I think a lot of the Iranians in America that I know, that I meet, are, you know, we seem to be culturally be very motivated, and it's good to see. So I see a lot of people doing very well, and it's good. And whatever you know, my main message to any parents in general is to let your kids do what they love doing. And if you pursue what you love doing in life, hopefully you'll be good at it, and hopefully you'll add to society. So hopefully there'll be a lot of that coming from our community.
And speaking of that, if you have any advice or suggestions for the younger generation living in America or elsewhere, willing to start in comedy, same footsteps that you took, what would it be?
Yeah, comedy, the formula is really easy. The formula is get on stage and write as much as you can. And so you need to get on stage about 5 to 10 times a week and do that for about 5 to 10 years. And then eventually you start getting good. So if it's something that you love, then go for it. Get out there, find an open mic, and go do it. Did
you have stage fright at first when you started?
Not really, because I started doing plays when I was 12. So getting on stage wasn't scary for me. It was the idea of writing and learning to be a stand-up and knowing that I have to keep going out every night. Those were the harder things. But, you know, because you love it, you do it, you know.
Our final question, Maz, has to do with the World Cup, the 2014 World Cup. And as you know, the group stage draw was yesterday in Brazil. And our Team Melli, Iran, is in Group F and will face Nigeria in the first game, Bosnia-Herzegovina in the last game, and one of the best players in the world, Lionel Messi, in Argentina in the second game in Belo Horizonte on June 21st. I will personally be in Brazil next year. We're stationed in Rio, but we're going to try our best to make it to the Iran-Argentina game, even though we don't have tickets. What is your take on those three opponents, and how do you think Team Melli will perform?
I got 3 words. Vavela. Yeah, that's tough, man. I know that Argentina's tough. I know Nigeria's tough. I don't know much about the Bosnian team.
Yeah.
But boy,
we have beat them before, 5-2 in a friendly in Tehran. But you never know. You never know how it's gonna go.
Let's hope we take them. If we can beat, it's just got to be the top 2. So if you can beat them and maybe beat Nigeria or tie Nigeria, I don't know how good Nigeria is these days. I know in the past they've been very good.
Are you gonna follow the World Cup though? Are you gonna be passionate about it and watch the games?
Of course, I'll be watching it 100%. I'm definitely gonna be glued to the TV that much.
We can talk in person. I will come to you.
No, do not come here.
No, I will come to you.
Do not come here.
See, we are negotiating. We are agents.
No. We are not agents. Where are you now?
I'm stretching my legs, bro.
Gaddafi, listen, seriously, where are you?
I'm hiding, dude. It's a secret. Hello.
Gaddafi, listen, seriously.
I'm networking, my man.
Salud! Did you get one of these every time that you sign a new client?
Yes.
I don't understand why more agents don't wear the billets.
That's what I said.
Whose voice is that? Do not mess with our client relationships, please.
Me, I'm just having a Starbucks on an Audi with Army Hammer. It's all good. You guys run point. I'm just part of the team. WME. By the way, congratulations on Lone Ranger. And you killed it on social network. Your brother killed it too.
Well, thank you, Colonel Gaddafi, but I actually, I did both parts in it.
You played both parts?
Yeah.
You got paid twice then?
No,
I'm just saying, for next time, that's what we do at WME. We think outside the box.
Maz, in closing, can you tell us a few words or a few phrases in Farsi so that our Persian-speaking audience would be happy about it too?
Sure. خانم آقایون خوش آمدید به برنامه آجیل. امیدواریم که بهتون خوش گذشته و ببخشید که برنامه بیشترش به زبان انگلیسی بود. ولی خب این قسمت آخرش به فارسی خواهیم گفت. خیلی ممنون، تشکر. این جالب چیه؟ به زبان فارسی ما 1000 جور سلام علیک و خداحافظی داریم. یا مثلا تشکر کردن. متشکریم، خیلی ممنون که خیلی
سپاسگزاریم. سپاسگزاریم، ممنونیم، متشکریم.
واقعا از ته دل تشکر میکنیم.
تعارف زیاد میکنیم.
And instead of saying like good night, it takes an hour.
Yeah.
That's it. خوش آمدید دوستان عزیز.
Well, Maz, we thank you so much for being with us today. And I got one more question from Avesta, my partner, and I promised him I'm going to ask him that. He wants to know about the Comedy Central roast. And you know how they roast comedians. Sometimes they roast presidents, and they've done it with Charlie Sheen. And in the past, Dean Martin did it with Frank Sinatra and all that. You would be the perfect, ideal candidate, I think. And that's what Avesta thinks too. Do you ever think about doing that, or what's your take on that?
I'm a little torn about the roasts. I like watching them. I just don't know if I don't like being mean, and I think you kind of got to be mean sometimes. So that's kind of where it's a little hard. I mean, I would if they picked me to do one, I would certainly try to come up with some funny jokes. But it's sometimes you got to be a little mean, and I'm not.
I think it would be perfect for it. Mean or not mean, I mean, you're fit the character. And I hope you get the role one of these days. We're very proud of you, Maz. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and for
have a good day, guys.
And for giving us the opportunity, being a startup network. You're a true gentleman, class act, to accept our invitation. No, we didn't have to beg for Maz to come today. He accepted our invitation on first trial, and we're very thankful for that. We wish you continuous success in your endeavors, your ventures. Good luck on the show tonight in New York.
I'll see you on October 23rd in Minneapolis.
We'll see you there for sure. Thanks, Maz. All the best to you.